Hello everyone, I am Dr. Eric Morrison. This is 7 Under 3, and I'll be covering trading education, more specifically Forex swing trading, using the TC2000 platform.
Hello, this is the week in review for the Forex currencies on 23 April at 4 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to go ahead and start off with Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. And we had an initial trade here on Monday with a quick Heikin-Ashi Z3 target. It was hit on Wednesday, and we went back the other direction for a short or a nice gain on Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar at the 200 moving day average as a target for a 1-2-3 punch out. Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, a little difficult trading here. Started off with Sunday, no trade below the RL10. Then we had this initial trade here, this initial trade, and this initial trade to end the week on the plus side, all because the Heikin-Ashi bodies were below the RL10. Now, if this does roll over, we're looking at winter, spring, and winter with another collapsing dragon. We'll see what happens. Aussie dollar, Japanese yen, kind of the same thing, but overall loss from all of the trades here. So we have no trade here because the Heikin-Ashi body is below the RL10, but we have our initial trade here for the short side and another trade for the short side, ending the week at this level. However, when you do this, you kind of hedge against this kind of chop. So this is, in sticking with the rules, the Heikin-Ashi body is below the RL10 and it is red. You can go ahead and try for that short, but it is running along the RL270, which makes it difficult trading. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, had an initial trade here for a loss, then a 1-2, and a short gain here for about a scratch for the week for Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Aussie dollar, US dollar, this was initial trade set up here and one indicator away when it's the Aussie dollars or these high gain type of candles. If you wait to have it your stop here at the low, this kind of situation with a reverse wedge can eat up your profits very quickly. So when I say one indicator away, try to stay at least one indicator away. So we had two losses. Here was initial short here and another short here because the Heikin-Ashi body is below the RL10. Started to go in a reverse wedge here a little bit. Tried to still part of this reverse wedge and ended the week on a loss for Aussie dollar, US dollar. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. Initial loss here for a quick out. We had green Heikin-Ashi body with the green harami. Low risk entry. Initial short here. Nice gain on the Heikin-Ashi Z3 excursion. Came back the other direction. We did go for this trade and it came back up against us with our stop here at the low. But if you had it at the belly of the dragon, or at least one indicator away, that would have been a good one too. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Absolute phenomenal trade. We had a 1-2-3 punch out for this trade. Came back with a loss here on this one. But this initial gain here, one order, two order, and out. Fantastic trade. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. Had two trades here, even though it was kind of choppy. Started seeing some reverse wedge here. Initial trade here on the short for a quick gain because I used the RL270. Came back up, then came back down. And so when it starts doing this reverse wedge, we have to at least wait for the two candle rule in order to proceed, even if it's in alignment with the Heikin-Ashi. So we went here with initial indicator candle here. Then we had a Heikin-Ashi body. It was below the RL10 and below the RL270. But with that, this was not a 1-2-3 punch out. I had my stop here with a tight stop, at least one indicator away at the belly of the dragon. Came to stop me out for a loss. Euro Aussie dollar. And initial short here for a loss. Came in with the 1, 2, 3 orders, all because the Heikin-Ashi body is above the RL10. Overall, end of the week gain for Euro Aussie dollar. Euro Canadian dollar. Had initial loss here for this Sunday candle. We had the two candle rule. Came back, stopped me out. Initial order here. Even though I saw this as a potential target here with this price action. Put this at the order and was able to get that particular target for a 1-2 out. Came back down. This was initial short order. Came back and stopped me out for a loss. Euro British pound. This is a continuation of the previous week. This was Heikin-Ashi below the RL10, so I did take it and with initial loss here. Took this order and for a nice 1-2 out. Japanese yen was just a mess. I stayed away from it. It's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I still didn't get a 2-candle rule. When it starts doing this, even with Heikin-Ashi in agreement, I wait for at least 2 candles. And I didn't get any 2 candles at this point. I did it all together. Euro New Zealand dollar, we had an initial gain from the previous week. And Sunday, no trade, no trade, no trade. Then on the last day, nice trade here for 1-2 out. See, Heikin-Ashi above the RL10, all red till the first indication here. I went ahead and took this particular trade. I had support here at the RL90 for a nice good support, so wanted to see if I could get a good trade out of this. Euro US dollar, I had an initial trade here for a loss and no further trade the rest of the week. British pound Aussie dollar, initial loss here for low risk entry. It entered here, came back, stopped me out, then came all the way back up. Now, if you ordered or stayed in it for this one, this order, and this order with a low here would have been a loss, but it all falls within the rules of the Heikin-Ashi body above the RL10. It's just kind of tough trading here with the 200 moving day average. British pound, Canadian dollar, absolute beautiful gain here. This Sunday I took this trade and it all the way up, hit my target on a 1-2. Heikin-Ashi body was above the RL10, so I took it, even though it was red, right at 200, and phenomenal trade. Came back with the initial short order because it came back, went through the 200, and stopped out for a small loss here on this one. Great trade for British pound, Canadian dollar. British pound, Swiss franc, overall gain for the week. However, this initial trade was a loss and came back and hit the RL270 as a target for this 1-2 out. British pound, Japanese yen, overall loss for the week. However, took this trade for a small loss for low risk entry. Heikin-Ashi bodies above the RL10. Took it, came back down, stopped me out, and then rocketed back up. Took this trade and out for a loss here at the RL10. Took this trade for a small gain on the RL27. British pound, New Zealand dollar, same kind of thing. Took a low risk entry here, was stopped out. Took an entry here, and then was initially stopped out here. 2 losses on British pound, New Zealand dollar. British pound, euro, did not take this trade. The Heikin-Ashi body was not above the RL10. It was right here, and this would have been a nice one too as well, but follow the rules. Took this trade for a small loss on British pound, US dollar. New Zealand Canadian dollar, initial loss on the short here. Took this trade and hit the Z3 excursion on the Heikin-Ashi for a 1-2-3 punch out. Came back and was stopped out for a loss on Friday. New Zealand Swiss franc, this was also consolidating. Took this trade for a small loss. Trade, no trade, no trade. Then took this trade for a small gain. New Zealand Japanese yen, also consolidating. Took this initial trade for a loss. No trade, no trade. Green Heikin-Ashi below the RL10. Took this trade because it was below the RL10 and took another order and another order for an overall loss for the New Zealand Japanese. Still kind of choppy, hanging around the RL270. Red, green, red, green. However, the Heikin-Ashi does prevent some of these in terms of overall trading or getting involved in a choppy or box type of trading zone. New Zealand US dollar, overall losses. We had this initial trade here. Heikin-Ashi body above for initial loss. Then took this short for another loss. Here for 2 losses on New Zealand US dollar. US dollar, Canadian dollar, this is just a mess. I avoided it. It's kind of hovering around the R270 as it's declining, but there are no clear trends here at all. We had a small with a red, another red here, that kind of hanging around the R270. So if you did take this trade, you would have been out for a loss here, and then the upwards candle here came right back down for kind of a reverse wedge action going up there. And when I screened out or panned out and saw this, I just said, no, I'm not trading it. If you did trade this, you would have had an initial loss here, at least one indicator away, the hump of the dragon. If you did take this, you would have had a very small gain at the end here. The target, the RL270 or the Z3 excursion, still wouldn't have hit it, your target. This is where ruthless risk management comes into play. So we need to wait for an actual trending market in order to trade these kind of choppy zones. US dollar, Swiss franc, all red in terms of red Heikin-Ashi above the RL10, weak short. Did take this trade for initial loss and no further trade the rest of the week. I did not take this 2 candle rule because of the fact that the second low was lower than the first. And this is kind of similar to a reverse wedge. I'm going to stay away from that. 2 candle rule, it's better if you have a lower high and a higher high here in order to go with that particular trend. This is just basically chop, as it was with a lot of the currencies this week. US dollar, Japanese yen, phenomenal trade. We had a 1-2-3 punch out, hit here, here, and then here. A nice 1-2-3. No further trade the rest of the week. All week short. We did end the week with an overall gain, even with all these trades and the losses in the chop zones. So if you're interested in Forex Bootcamp or Forex Intermediate course, you may click on the link below. And remember, ruthless risk management. Have a great weekend, everyone. Happy trading.
Well, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button below and the subscribe button. And if you want more information on TC2000, I have an affiliate link below. If you open up a TC2000 account, you will receive a $25 discount using that link. Thank you for your time.